wake up, hit 100 push-ups, then I'm at my route. Check on my stocks, see how they looking, then I'm sliding out. When you start seeing your progression, you stop having doubts. And what's the point of having clout if you can't cash it out? True to this game, and I'm a lifer, ayy. Feel like we finna change the cycle, ayy.
Welcome back, wealthy people. It is your boy, David Bellard, one half of the Black Wealth Renaissance crew. You already know what we back in here to do. I'm here with my brother from another. Jalen, how you living?
Whoa. What's up with it, my brother? I'm living great. I feel bad because I just looked back and I realized I forgot my quote. So I'm kind of sad now. Dang.
Hey, it's all good, man.
Yeah,
Every
I
now and
know.
again, we gonna let the pod speak for itself. We're gonna have a quote come from the pod, you know what I'm
Bet,
saying?
bet,
That's gonna
bet.
be next week quote of the week.
I'm doing great though, man. Feeling blessed, highly favored. I ain't got nothing else to say on that.
All right, man. My boy ain't blacktastic, so I'm blacktastic, blessed, and highly favored. You know what I'm saying? Doing good. Today's been a great day, and we back for another great episode, man. So I'm always willing, able, and ready to come with that fire for the people. So y'all know what we need, man. Before we get into today's episode, we need y'all to leave us that 5-star rating and
review.
we need that. Yeah,
Yes,
y'all go
sir.
ahead. Give us that feedback. We love to hear from you guys. What topics you want to hear, all that stuff. Y'all get with us. We always are receptive to everything that you guys want to share with us and how we can continue to push the culture forward. So, man, before we get into it today, we like to start it off a little light, man. We got a little clip that we wanted to share with y'all with something that really I think is crucial to share right now, like given the mindset and the current economic and political environment we in. Like this is a mindset we gotta divorce ourselves from as a culture. I'm gonna let my brother cut on the clip.
No job. If you go get a job, they're gonna take my Section 8.
Huh?
Then you won't be able to get no Section 8. You're not going to get no job. They're gonna count your income against my Section 8 and my link card. You're not working. No. So I don't care what you gotta say. I don't care how you feel. You're not working. You're not going to get a job. You're not going to school. You're not doing none of that shit.
But Ma, I'm saying how I'm supposed to be successful in life, Ma. So you basically telling me I gotta be broke to be successful. I gotta be broke so I can get Section 8.
You gotta be
so
broke so the government can help you.
So the government can help me. So you telling me I can't work no job, bro? Like that's like all my friends got jobs and live in nice houses. So you telling me I got to go through the same thing you went through?
If you don't do any of that, they're going to take my Section 8.
How?
And I'm
won't
trying
they be
to tell
like?
you
Won't
that
they
you
be?
can go get yours like ease. You can go get a
They will
nice house.
no. They will look at that and be like, he's doing something and give me a bigger house, Ma. That's what you told me.
Where I'm gonna go? I don't have no job.
I can get off your Section 8 and apply for my own Section 8.
But if you do that, you're gonna have to go the hard way. It's gonna take a long.
So what? That's what I'm
Wait
saying.
a few months, get on Section 8, find you a nice apartment, go get you a link card. You will be fine. You don't have to sit up and work. You don't have to work no job. The government is not getting no job. If you go get a job.
Ay caramba, man. Like it's so much to unpack there, right? So much to unpack.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say, man. That whole
That
mindset, bro.
That
Yeah,
mindset is such a cancer to our community,
that shit
realistically, and like
detrimental, man.
especially in times like these, bro. We cannot have that thought process that they gonna take care of me if I do less.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna do less so I can make sure that I got all my basics met, and I'm gonna do just enough to make sure that they're gonna do this for me so I can have an easy life. I'll never understand that mentality.
Yeah,
bro.
that ain't living life, bro. Because you honestly just
You're
put your life.
literally getting by.
Yeah, you're getting by and you're letting other people to dictate your life.
Like, think about this, son.
They're telling you how much money you're capped out at making,
Bro,
all because you can
her
live in a
son
situation.
he cannot get a job. He can't get a job because him getting a job gonna fuck up her money, which really shouldn't, right? Why would he do that if he files stuff on his own taxes? He's a minor. I guess if he's a minor, he can't really file on his own.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's like a household thing, and she has to report the income to Section 8.
But
I don't
bro,
know if
we
it's
all
something like that.
finessed whenever we was in college. You know what I'm saying? You finesse on paper. Your household is who you gotta feed. If you the person who gotta get fed, you the only person. I lived in a example. I lived in a house with 4 guys whenever we was in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
The SNAP program had a program where if you were working at least 20 hours a week, they would give you SNAP benefits while you was in school. Your household consisted of who you had to feed. That's how I read on the paper. I was only responsible for me. He was only responsible for him. He was only responsible for him. So we each getting the max versus everybody pooling together and we'll get a whole lot less.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure the same concept applies here. If they don't care about it on the SNAP side, what she talking about, Section 8, WIC, all that social assistance, social safety net stuff, I think it's a great bedrock to make sure if you fall hard, you got something to come back up on, but it can't be the place you stay. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't stay at that spot and live there in perpetuity and teach that type of mentality to the next generation. Cause her son, what if he the black sheep? What if he the only one thinking against the grain? What if she got multiple kids and all the rest of them like, I'm just gonna get on
Yeah,
Section 8
mama
too.
say we don't get no jobs. We just live on Section 8 type shit.
Like that's a generational curse, bro. That's perpetuating cycles of poverty and keeping us really in that same viewpoint that white people, black people, a lot of people look at black people negatively for that. Even though statistically it's been proven, most people on housing assistance and these social programs are white people. We just talking numbers here. It's
Mm-hmm.
America. It's 60% fucking white people. Of course, it's gonna be more of them on them things. We make up 14% of the population, but a lot of the negative social stigma, I hate seeing like that part of the video because it just perpetuates that. And it's like it's so much more opportunity. And with again the current given economic environment, like we cannot afford as a culture to think that way. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, like once again, what I immediately think about is the net worth of black people as a whole, right? If we're thinking like this, if we have enough of us thinking like this, you're never going to build wealth. You're never going to
X,
attribute
you're
or
never gonna own
yeah,
anything.
because you're just going to be on Section 8. Which there are programs where Section 8 will actually help you buy a house. But some people, I'm pretty sure with the mindset that she has, she's probably not thinking
She
that
would
way.
never buy a house. I'm not gonna buy no house. I buy a house, I'm gonna lose my link card. I don't even know what the fuck a link card is.
I don't know what that is either. But that's the type of mentality that is going to bring our net worth down and continue to decrease it because we're not buying anything. We're not striving to get up out of that loop. I remember we interviewed Pocky and
Yeah, Hood
Sandy. And
Estates.
they
For
were
Pocky
talking
and Sandy.
about one of their friends kind of had the same mentality, and Sandy had to kind of break it down to like, this is how much you're actually losing by staying at this current level.
I remember the situation exactly. They did the math for her. She was about to get a new job. She was gonna get paid $60,000 a year with that job. And she talked to one of her friends, a friend like that lady in that video, and she said, "Girl, don't do that. They're gonna take your stuff away." But then Pocky and Sandy broke the numbers down for her. Well, if you figure how much all this stuff work that they paying for, they paying you to live on $30,000 a year. By you taking this job, you effectively doubled your income, which means you can double the amount that you're doing right now. Like whatever you're doing, you could afford to do it twice. You could save twice as much. You could enjoy twice as much. And if she would have stayed in the mentality with her friend that said, "No, girl, don't do that," it would have kept it there. Like you said, that wealth gap would continue to stay and persist at it what it is. 'Cause I want to say I was just looking into the statistics. The most recent data I think we have is from the Brookings Institute in 2023. It stated that the average net worth of the white family was something like 180K versus the average net worth of a black family being 24K. 4K to 180, that's damn near 9x.
Yeah,
Almost 10
it's
times as
crazy.
much.
But
Almost 10 times as much.
we know what the bulk of that wealth is. That's your home ownership. That's your equity from
Ownership.
your homes.
Exactly. And with that, right? Like it's crazy how scary it is to think people are so reliant and trusting upon these programs when they're actively working to cut and take away from these programs as we speak, right?
Facts.
At,
So
at the
you want to
time,
just get into the big beautiful bill right off the
let's get
bat?
into it,
Let's
man. Let's get into it because
because
at the time of this recording, right, the Big Beautiful Bill actually just passed The Senate version of it just passed through the Senate. It went in a 50-50 vote. None of the Democrats voted for the bill. It was all 50 Republicans, and then the tiebreaker was broken by J.D. Vance, vice president. So that is how the tie was broken. That's how it got passed through the Senate, and now it's going back to the House. And it's a lot of stuff in there that's very likely, almost guaranteed to probably go through the House with little to no revision, right? So what we're looking at right now is probably the final draft of this, and the president pushing to have that shit pushed through by Independence Day, which is
Friday.
at the time of this recording, right? So if this is what the push is, right? Why are we saying it's so concerning with this mentality? Well, one of the big concerns that people have been voicing all during the campaign time, it was always mentioned, let's just talk about campaigning real quick. There were a lot of promises made during the campaign, right? We all know politicians do the same song and dance. Hey, I'm gonna do this,
Every
I'm gonna do
time.
that, it's gonna be amazing. I'm about to do all this for everybody, And then whenever we actually get the end product, it doesn't necessarily match up to what was stated.
I don't remember saying it like that.
Yeah, I don't think I said that, right? So like looking at the scorecard on Trump with this bill versus what he ran on and what is actually in it, right? So no tax on tips and overtime, right? That was one of the big things that was discussed as a part of the bill. Well, they included it in there, but it's not no tax, right? So it is a tax credit, which means it's refundable to you if you go if you earn less money than this amount, right? It's a credit. For tips, it's gonna be tax-free for the first $25,000 annually for people earning less than $150,000 a year. Once you go over 150, it starts phasing out. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I know when it goes to certain brackets, you'll get less and less tax-free income. But it's only until 2028. Same thing for the overtime, right? So when we talk about tax-free tips, tax-free overtime, for overtime, you're only allowed to get up to $12,500 tax-free as a credit. And that is gonna also phase out for people earning more than $150,000 a year. And also it expires in 2028. The things that were ran on as the two big things for like the everyday person, those are temporary, right? But what's permanent? Extension of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act lowered the highest tax rate for corporations from 34% to 21% flat, and increased the lowest tax rate from 15% for small businesses up to 21%. So it was a flat rate. So a lot of the benefit, while the language again it's for us, the small man, it's going to be a situation where the people who are actually going to see the benefit from it are going to be wealthy people and corporations, not
Yeah.
the everyday person, right? But more concerning for the people like what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I was about to say I kind of want to get into some of the social
Yeah.
programs too that they're cutting with
Yeah,
the
so some of those
SNAP.
social safety net programs,
Yeah,
SNAP,
like
Medicaid.
SNAP, Medicaid, the home assistance, welfare, those type of things are also coming under fire. Actually, last week, someone called me and they were like, "You need to call your senator, tell your senator to vote no against these things." They're actually, trying to get you to call and get you to be active and really push to get this bill blocked. But a lot of these things, the stipulations that they're putting on some of these things. So with SNAP, right? I was reading earlier, what they're going to be doing is reducing a lot of it, reducing the amount that people are getting. I read that people could be seeing as much as up to $150 less of what they're getting currently. And then they're also putting stipulations, like certain restrictions on who can get these things, right? One of the things being Medicaid. I know you spoke about your uncle with me yesterday, but people that are not disabled, certified disabled, they're going to have tighter restrictions on getting Medicaid.
Yeah, those restrictions are crazy, bro. Because Medicaid, as we know, is a program that benefits low income individuals. Fortunately, Black people represent a larger aspect of people receiving Medicaid than what they represent in the populations. It's like 20% of the people on Medicaid are black, but 14% of the American population is black. So we overrepresented there, right? So that means it's gonna have waves and affect us negatively, right? Because we got family members. That's why I was expressing to Jalen with my uncle. Like my uncle, he is disabled, so he would be okay. But for people who aren't disabled, between ages 18 and 64, it's gonna add a work requirement on there.
Yep.
And
It was just a work requirement for
work
non-disabled.
so you either, and it's not just a work requirement, right? So for at least 80 hours a month, you either have to, which factors in kind of similar to what I talked about that SNAP thing earlier, right?
Yeah,
20
like
hours
20
a week.
hours a week.
You have to either be in school, volunteer, work, or be in a job training program to be eligible for those benefits. And that'll definitely put a damper and a hamper on some people, because it's some people, you know what I'm saying,
But what
they may not
does
be
that, what does
certified
that?
disabled, but they need that.
Yeah, I was about to say, what did they mean by certified disabled? Do they mean physically disabled? Because you could be mentally disabled as well. Just because you might be physically capable, you might not be mentally capable to carry out some of these things. So I'm guessing we need to define what disabled means within this bill, which I'm pretty sure they probably did define. But that was one of the things.
Yeah, and
The other,
it actually stands to like nearly 12 million people losing those benefits across, right?
mm-hmm. So the it's kind of along the same lines with SNAP too. So SNAP recipients will face restrictive rules and fewer benefits. All able-bodied adults without dependents must work or train at least 20 hours per week to qualify. Same thing like you just said before, right? You need to be working, or you need to be in school, you need to be volunteering, something like that. Then there's also a work waiver threshold drop from 8% to 1% unemployment, which I don't know what that part means, what that threshold actually does. But food benefits will be tighter on that too.
Yeah, I gotta look into that one more. I don't quite understand that one as much. But yeah, those cuts to those social safety net programs, like talking back to the clip we opened up with, that's gonna affect those people more than anybody. And having that thought process of, they just gonna take care of me, we gotta abandon that thought. Like, ain't nobody coming to save us, bruh. Like, we just gotta get wise and know what's going on. That's why I also want to talk about, the
Actually,
deductions and
I
stuff
found
that's
this cool
available.
post by Better Wallet too. He broke it down. He's got a lot of good stuff. If y'all want to check that out by Mark, I'm gonna read some stuff whenever you're done.
Nigga just interrupted me.
My fault.
I thought you was about to read the post.
Oh, yeah, I can read it right now.
Yeah, you might
I
as
thought you was
well.
about to get to your part. But he kind of went through some of the big parts that kind of like you said affect everyday people. One of the things that I saw was kind of interesting is family with teens will receive larger child credits. So the child credits shall be $2,000 per qualifying child, but they bumped up the age from 16 to 19. So now people you get like 3 extra years to receive those child tax
Didn't they
credits.
also, I believe the version I was reading from the Senate bill, they also tried to permanently increase that credit
To
from 2,000
22.
to 2,200.
I don't see that part in here. I do see another part that said they're also terminating energy upgrades. So I
Yep.
don't know if you knew
They're
that,
doing a
like,
lot of cuts to the green energy incentive.
yeah, I don't know if, well, for those that don't know, right, the government was incentivizing people with older homes to get these energy efficient windows upgrades. You would get tax credits for doing those type of upgrades to your homes, or getting, like, whenever the people would come out and try to sell solar panels, and they'll tell you, hey, you can get it for free or whatever through your state and stuff like that. That was due to these tax credits and these tax incentives. A lot of those things are all going away. And that's kind of part of the reason why Elon Musk is against this bill as well. Because Elon Musk, he's
Tesla makes a
benefited.
lot of
Yeah,
money off
he
of
benefit
tax credits.
because people think of Tesla only as the car aspect, right? But Tesla also does the solar panel roofs as well. So two parts of your business is getting hit now. So it's not just the incentives for the electric cars, Trump also removed the mandate for electrical cars too. You remember? I forgot what was the year mandate, but they're trying to push the cancellation of
I think they
sales
were
of
trying to push
gasoline power
something like
vehicles.
it was something crazy, like
Yeah,
2035 or something
yeah,
like that.
it's relatively like within the near future. They're trying to push that, but Trump is reversing that as well.
The
So
pendulum swung right back in the
yeah,
other direction. They
so
actually invested more money in gas and like natural gas and stuff
yeah.
again.
So those are some interesting things that I kind of think will be interesting for different industries as well. Because now, how does that affect the roofing industry? How does that affect the people who install windows and doing a lot of these things for these homes that probably were kind of easier to sell this to certain people who can do these upgrades?
The people, because there was a benefit in there for them, like they were
Yes.
gonna actually save money by
Hmm.
doing this. Now, if you remove that aspect of it, are people gonna go green just for the
The
environment?
sake of them, yeah.
I don't think it's gonna happen,
Are
dog.
they
I ain't
going to
gonna lie.
upgrade those windows? Like maybe they might need to, but will they? Like,
Because reasonably, also, it's gonna be harder to afford it for the
yeah.
people. As an insurance adjuster, that's the number one thing I hear people talk about all the time. Like, man, I can't afford my deductible. Well, you're gonna have to put some bread up. Like, we can't pay for the whole thing. You're gonna have to put some of your own money up. And without those credits, people are gonna have to be responsible for putting more of their own money up.
Hmm.
And like you said, that's gonna decrease demand for sure.
Yeah. So it's got ramifications across a lot of industries. It is some more stuff in here that I see that he kind of had. One of the other
Did he
ones
have the thing
was
about the old people tax deduction? I'm gonna say that
no.
nicer. The senior citizen
I don't
reduction.
see that one, but I do see federal child care support is being eliminated. So it looks like there were grants for care workers and family child care programs. So I'm guessing with like foster kids and stuff like that, looks like that is also being cut back on too.
So really, just again, an overall reduction in investment
These social
outside of
programs.
two areas, really.
Yeah.
So we're seeing reduction in investment in social safety net programs, but where the money actually is flowing is, guess what, guys? Dun, 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 dun. We got $500 billion going to military defense and borders.
Oh, I could believe that.
So we cutting nearly $1 trillion from Medicaid and investing $500 billion into military defense and borders, and also there's throwing money into the energy sector, reinvesting back into the fossil fuels, non-renewable energy sector. Which again, that just makes it all the more clear how they're positioning everything right now and why they're positioning things the way they are right now. I definitely think this is part of a bigger play to continue plundering the Middle East for that good old oil. They just always want the Earl.
Of course, of course. This is all definitely a part of a power play. This is You were talking about the campaign earlier. One of the things I wanted to bring up was this is Project 2025 coming to life, man. This is literally what you see because a lot of this stuff that's outlined in this bill is what was outlined in that Project 2025. A lot of that is also they kind of did tell you what was going to happen before they told you what was going to happen.
Factual, factual. I can't even flex. I didn't read through the whole thing, but they did definitely have the same similar agenda points. But I know we're talking a lot about the negative side, which I mean it will have wide-reaching ramifications. But I also do like to highlight just the tax side of things as well. Um, earlier I mentioned the tax for older Americans. The way that one works is for people that are over 65.
Let's
A
call them
new
senior American.
Okay, man. I ain't want to call them all seniors, man. I just call them a little older. They say 40 the new 30 and 60 the new 50. So everybody want to be younger than they want to be anyway. So I'm
I
gonna just call them
guess
older. You know what I'm saying? They seasoned. The seasoned people out here, but people
I'm gonna
over
call y'all
65,
senior.
uh seasoned seniors is insane. They don't need both of them, bro. A seasoned senior is a geriatric
That's
person.
hilarious.
That's a nigga that's like 80. A
Oh
seasoned
man.
senior. Your ass done been you been old for a long time, nigga. That's what a seasoned senior is.
Niggas got little liver spots on their ass and shit.
That's a seasoned senior right there. Hell yeah. But
Oh man.
yeah, no, for those seasoned seniors and the regular seniors too. A new $6,000 deduction for single adults earning less than 75K, and for people filing jointly, that number is 150. So the first $6,000 of income, you get to deduct that, which they'll just add on because that's on top of the standard deduction.
Yeah, I was just about to say, is that on top of the standard
Yeah.
as well?
Stabs
Okay.
on top of the standard deduction. So just gives some extra leeway, especially for like a lot of those people that are on Social Security, getting those type of payments. That income won't be taxed as heavily, which will play in the favor of a lot of those people. But one of the big concerns about this whole bill is how it's gonna affect the deficit. And just based on all this shit we talking about, the money print about to keep going burr. And that deficit gonna keep growing. So
That is a part of that. They definitely did something to the deficit.
the deficit is going to continue to grow because we're cutting shit that really is necessary, and then we're also cutting back how much we're taxing people, but at the same time we still not investing less money. I saw a crazy stat, bro. Like the United States budget, like 53% of our budget is for interest payments. So they're just gonna keep continuing to grow and balloon this deficit.
They just gonna keep on stacking the shit pie higher and higher.
Higher and higher till that bitch blow up in our face. So, with all that said, right? How do we sustain? How do we keep continuing to build and grow wealth as the Black wealth renaissance? Because I still believe we still going through it, right? The mission to close the wealth gap is still ever strong, and we're still working. As a generation, I feel like we've made significant strides in terms of business, entrepreneurship, and corporate. On the corporate side of things, I definitely think we've seen huge leaps with younger African American Black people, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
I was about to start singing Kendrick. I ain't gonna lie.
It's not enough
Master!
for us to really maintain, right? We got to stay locked in and keep doing the things, right? I think at this point, I know I've shared publicly one of my big homes is to buy, one of my big goals to buy a home in Dallas. By 2030, they really trying not to let you get in, bro. Like the way shit going, they're trying to have corporations on all this shit. So
Fact.
the fact of the matter is, at this point in time, the most important thing we can be doing is collecting assets while lowering our debt. Collecting assets that appreciate. Because a lot of times we invest in shit for sentimental value and not economic value. It's stuff that we buy because we like it and it's cool, but at the end of the day, does that shit really have a return on it? And I'm not saying you can't enjoy things. If you like into collectibles and all that, but a poor mind thinks one. A poor mind thinks either or. A rich mind thinks both. Why can't we have both? You can have your collectibles, but I need you to be investing in the market. You can have fun, you can kick it, but make sure you keep a foot on base because we still building the mission. Everybody can't be super duper locked in. I understand that. I'm not a absolutist that thinks everybody's gonna be, like a monolith and every Black person is gonna stop shopping
Gonna
at
be
Target.
eating beans and rice.
We're gonna
and
be
just-
eating beans and
yeah.
rice and living and stacking our bread. Man, that's unrealistic. Niggas gonna kick it. But if you're gonna kick it and still take care of what you know you need to take care of for your future. Because there's too many niggas that got money for the bullshit, but ain't got money for the real shit. You can go $100 at the bar buying drinks, trying to fuck on this girl. Easy money. Let me ask you to put $100 in Bitcoin. Man, I'm gonna get my money back. You ain't got your money back from that girl, and you ain't got no pussy. You ain't even hit. You ain't even get the
Wow.
number.
Wow.
You ain't even get the number, bro. She gave you an IG.
She gave you the Snapchat, bro.
Hey man, they say those Snapchat where they at though. You know what I'm saying? Where the little disappearing pictures.
I wouldn't know anymore.
Hey, look, my boy got the ring in his hand. He's a married man. Ladies, stay out of his Snapchat.
But before.
We not gonna speak on that. Kevin Gates said that those who I love, I don't speak on. You ain't gonna speak on that, man.
Facts. I ain't gonna speak on that. Yes,
But
Lord.
yes, Lord. Listen, but all I'm saying is a lot of times it's easy to make excuses and say we can't. But we can definitely and should definitely be working toward investing. And if it's not real estate, you need to be owning appreciating assets. If appreciating assets is not your thing, I need you to be investing in yourself. Are you studying? Are you upskilling? Now is the time for really whenever we look at the juncture we are with this information age and kind of this
This
AI
AI
hype
boom.
and all this stuff like that. Yeah, you need to be positioning yourself to take advantage of this because jobs of the past won't be the jobs of the future. I recently seen they started putting them driverless 18 wheelers like over the road.
Really?
They did one from like California to fucking New Mexico or some shit like that.
That's crazy because they still don't have like the self-driving taxis, but they're allowing these self-driving like trucks over the road.
But think
That's
about
wild to
where I
me.
said they let it go through the road at in the
Yeah.
damn desert.
But there's still people on there. It's still live. It's still in it. A lot of stuff that can happen. California to New Mexico, you got mountains and you got slates and all of this other shit. Shit could definitely happen on that stretch. That's interesting. You muted, bro.
Yeah, but eventually this technology is gonna get to the point where the humans doing the work are obsolete. Like you mentioned it the other day when we were speaking. Like we see all these humanoid robots and people think I Robot and all the bad shit. But
Mhm.
you gave me a completely different perspective on it. What if
Yeah,
we
like
get this to do the jobs that are too dangerous for humans to do, where people be dying doing this job?
that's what I initially thought of. Like what I told you, I was like, send their ass down to like the coal mines. Go have them work in the office. Like, which I'm pretty sure people that work in these industries will probably give me rebuttal and say, "Hey, that's how I feed my family." But I have seen instances where these coal mines have collapsed, or people are walking away from these oil field accidents where you're losing a limb or you
Dismembered,
losing a
yeah.
hand. Yeah, you're doing all of these other things. That goes into the part where David is saying upskill, right? Maybe you go from the person who is actually doing the mining part art and now you're surveying the land to make sure that this is something that you can find actual minerals in, or you're the person who now is uh learning how to equip and tool the robots to do the actual job, right? Maybe how can you advance and do stuff that's more meaningful in that field? Because that's how I look at some of those things. I do think that they have their point in society. I don't think it's going to be all what we think it's going to be. Like you just going to have one in your house and you just like, yo, what's up, G? Go fix me a glass of water type shit.
Niggas think they gonna be on the
Yeah,
Jetsons. Niggas been wanting to be
like
the Jetsons since like the 60s, bro.
like
It's
I do
crazy.
think they will have personal robots and stuff like that, but I don't think it's just going. I think they will take a lot of these dangerous jobs.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like anytime in the next 5 to 10 years we have personal robots. I think that's like we'll be older for sure by that
And
time.
I think we're going into a great direction. We could actually go into our next talking point,
Yeah.
which is actually it's not robotic, but it is AI based. So it's AI based, and we're going to be talking about something that Sam Altman said. If you're not familiar with Sam Altman, he is the CEO of OpenAI,
And OpenAI makes everybody's favorite and probably most popular uh AI
large
chatbot,
language model,
Chat
Chat
GPT.
GPT.
Yeah, we know him, we love him. Chat GPT, everybody. So yes, but to Jalen's point, you're right. This while we talking about a lot of the current developments on this side. Sam Altman made a very very interesting statement, and it echoes stuff that we've shared on the pod before. I just want to
Mhm.
read a couple snippets from this article. Are you trusting ChatGPT too much? AI hallucinates. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has a warning. So Sam Altman goes on to say, uh, in the inaugural episode, OpenAI released a podcast, right? And in the first episode of the pod, he is talking about ChatGPT. And in the episode, he says people have a very high degree of trust in ChatGPT, which I find interesting because AI hallucinates. It should be the tech that you don't trust that much. This the motherfucking CEO.
This nigga built this shit.
And he's telling you shouldn't trust it that much. We've already told y'all you should vet and verify everything that AI gives you. because and this goes to speak to the larger trend. A lot of times we get so stuck. I see ads right on the internet where they're like, we've all heard of AI, it's smarter than us, better than us, and eventually it'll replace us all and take our jobs. But we're giving that shit too much credit. We're giving it too much credit. At the best, what it is something that aggregates information and rapidly disseminates and deciphers things. It just processes shit faster than you can as a person. But it doesn't mean it's more accurate, and it damn sure doesn't mean that what it's gonna give you is always factual.
That's true. A lot of these AI models, there's this. If you go on Chat GPT, there's actually like this setting or whatever where you can break down the models, and it'll tell you like whenever they're testing, right? And it's got like this ranking. It'll tell you this is the ranking. I need to pull it up. But basically, the ranking is how much this thing hallucinated, how much it got stuff wrong, and like, were we comfortable with releasing this to the world with how much it was actually messing up, right? And I thought that was so interesting because once again, it's all there. They tell you all of these things that, hey, this is not the most
It
accurate
says
thing.
it at the bottom.
Yeah, like they tell you all of these things, and what concerns me is the trend that I've seen on social media lately. It's a lot of normal people are starting to use Chat GPT,
Talk about
but
it,
they're speaking to it as if it's a real person.
like
They're
it's their
having
friend,
they're having conversations with Chat like it's their friend.
like it's
They're
their
giving it,
therapist.
yes, they're giving it a personality. Like you said, somebody used Chat as it was their therapist. And I think that's dangerous. I think
Bro,
that's whenever
bro,
this
bro, you
becomes
made me think of,
extremely
you're
dangerous.
right. You made me think about that girl that was like, I'm tired of you talking to me like this. I need you to talk more like me. Talk like one of my homegirls. And then it
Hmm.
said some shit like, yeah, I'm tired of saying Yas Queen and I want to get more to you. Like you heard me or some shit. And it's like, yo, bro, y'all are using this for the wrong fucking reasons right now. You are
Yeah.
using this shit incorrectly. And that, to your point, it does concern me because this stuff, all it does is aggregate information. And it's taking these prompts and all these questions that we're asking, and it's also storing that data. And it's using and leveraging that information because at the end of the day, this is still a tech company, guys. And if the CEO is saying things like it's not super reliable, that should cause you to concern and really take everything you get from this with a grain of salt. And this is from a person who loves and uses this shit frequently. I love OpenAI, ChatGPT, Gemini. I like the tools for what they allow me to do, which is speed up some thought processes that I have, speed up some of the finding of information for research, but it doesn't speed up the actual research. I think that's an interesting point. Like it can aggregate some information, but you still got to read it. Like it'll be pulling sentences from different articles. You need to go get the context out of that article. You can't just run with one cherry pick piece of information because people cherry pick information all the time. And what happens when you cherry pick information?
Your vision and your knowledge is skewed by what that person wants you to know.
And people do it all the time. Like I think we talk about the quote from the Bible. People say the love of money is evil, but they misquote it and they don't say the whole statement. It's a lot of stuff that's like that, right? Where it's like people are cherry picking information to try to make it seem accurate. And AI can do that because I think one of the things that we don't acknowledge is confirmation bias. Just like with Google. If you Google some shit, you only can find out what you're looking for. So
Unless you're thinking objectively and you're Googling from both sides of the perspective.
who the fuck does that, right?
Not a lot of people.
Most people not doing that. So there's a huge confirmation bias issue there. Whereas like whatever you're looking for, you typically find. And it's almost like a yes man instead of a reality check in a lot of these instances. And it can be very, very dangerous. I think that I appreciate Sam Altman's transparency.
Hmm.
I don't think most people in the midst of a boom, especially something as big as this AI boom, would come out and say such disparaging things about their own product.
What the thing that was interesting to me whenever he said this, I immediately thought of all of the companies that are going in on AI, are leaning heavily on AI, right? Like all of these companies, like you said, you mentioned Gemini, Google, Salesforce. A lot of these companies are firing and replacing a lot of their workforce with AI, right? So
And that
if the
AI is not actually apt
yeah,
to
I was about
replace
to
those
say
people.
if
We
if
just
if this
talked
man
about
is
Claire in the last week.
if this man is saying that this is not accurate and you're firing and replacing half of your workforce with this, what type of ramifications or what type of blowback could possibly be lurking and bubbling up? Because something else that I've seen is right with the advance of this AI, right now they're working on these things called reasoning models, right? And this reasoning model, what this thing does is instead of you just typing something and it just aggregating and spitting things out, it's supposed to be able to think and it's supposed to be able to process things more human like, right? If it's something that needs you to do stuff in steps, it'll give you like a chain of command, or it'll help you organize your thoughts more or whatever, right? Or maybe let's say you're playing a game of chess or whatever, it has the ability to think about the next few moves and all of these things. But companies have tested this and they've realized that a lot of the times this reasoning model is not actually thinking. All it is it's memorizing and it's really just like replicating through memory, once again through the
Recognizing
aggregation.
patterns.
Yeah, recognizing these patterns, going through all of the things that it was fed, but whenever it goes to real world subjects and things like that, right? Something that it possibly has never seen before, whenever the thinking part and the reasoning part, it the accuracy drops drastically.
Definitely. And I think it's interesting, right? Because when the reasoning fails, that's when hallucination comes in. And
Yes,
that's
and
the
it just
part
makes
that
something
people,
up.
where he says people trust it too much. Like, I remember the first time I really realized ChatGPT hallucinated, because I'm asking a question and it put some numbers in there and I didn't give it those numbers. And I said, hey, where'd you get those numbers? And it said, I'm sorry, David. It didn't say my name, thank God. That would have scared the shit out of me. But I'm sorry, David. Um, I made that up. I sometimes do that
It
whenever I
told you
don't
that
have a
like
yeah,
that?
it real deal. Like I asked, like, yo, where did these numbers come from? Because I know where I got this. I researched it before I asked you.
Mm-hmm.
So where'd you get these numbers from, chat? I made them up. I made them up. You got me. I said, wow, I really gotta watch this thing. Because while it's got its uses, it's not infallible. And if we treat it like it's infallible, if we approach AI with the mentality that it's smarter than us and better than us and it's eventually gonna replace us, that's the wrong mentality to think about this with. This is a tool to enhance us. This is something that we can use to leverage and improve upon ourselves. And it's only as good as the programmers make it. We gotta stop giving this shit so much credit. I'm 100% with Sam Altman. I think it's great that he said that, and we as a culture still need to lean into AI. We shouldn't be scared of it. I think we should avoid AI slop at all costs. I've been seeing
Facts.
a huge rise in AI racist slop
I was
content.
about to say, have you seen these AI content creators that they made? It's a black girl and it's a black boy.
No,
And
I
it's
don't.
it's AI content creators, and like she's doing skin routines, all of this shit,
That's
black girl
crazy.
mannerisms, like crazy shit, bro.
But all the AI videos, I'm glad right now they're kind of being real prominent because I think it's helping people identify them a little bit better. Because there's always this feel of hyper realistic extraness that you wouldn't see in a real video. But back to these racist videos, man. Hey, if y'all see them, I need you to skip past them immediately. I seen one the other day. They had some white boys hanging watermelon over the pier, and black guys were swimming to the watermelon. I said, yeah. Yeah, or like the Carnival Cruise ones or Spirit Airlines. It's a lot of racist shit going on right now. And it's like, bro, I need all of us to get away from the AI slop content. Like let's not indulge. Let's not engage. Boy, you look like you struggling right now.
I'm glad I don't see any of that type of content. The shit I see is them fat niggas. That fat niggas
It's fat
AI
nigga
slide.
season.
That's what I see come across. I do want to get back to a little bit more seriousness with some of AI too. I kind of want to talk about the cybersecurity and protecting yourself as well. Because although we talk about building wealth, right? One of the things with building wealth is also protecting your wealth and playing defense. So you also have to have an offensive plan, but you have to have a decent defensive plan as well. With AI, the creation of these tools, right? What it has done is it's allowed a lot of these threat actors or these bad people to come in and use these tools to create better phishing emails, which is now allowing people to actually fall victim to a lot of cyber crimes. They're getting their accounts hacked and everything like that because now these emails, they're written a lot better. Also, they're using these voice models, and they're using these voice models to replicate people's voices,
Ooh,
and
imagine they replicate your boss voice.
exactly like
Hey,
replicate.
Jalen, I need you to go ahead and send me those security codes right away.
Yeah, like literally that type of shit. Like they're replicating voices, but they're also doing deep fakes. So it's not just the voice now; it's a video. It's a video of your boy boss or something like that, telling you to
I ain't
send
gonna
these
lie.
security codes.
I know that's a
There's
scam. Cause if my boss
there's
sent me a video to explain something, brother, why are you
bro.
trying so hard? FaceTime
There's
me.
an instance recently. A higher up exec sent 25 M's to a nigga who fished him through like an email in a deep fake campaign.
Hey, pack him the fuck up. Pack him the fuck up right away. Why the fuck did you send $25 million to a deep fake video? How old is this nigga?
I don't
Pack
know,
him the
bro.
fuck up. Give somebody else his job. That nigga don't deserve that
I
position.
don't know. But I also want to talk
Damn,
about a few other
man,
things
I
with
should be
that, right?
scamming, bro.
With yeah. This nigga said I should be scamming.
Niggas
You're
hitting
crazy.
$25 million links on CEOs on simple phishing. I'm doing the wrong stuff right now. I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to be a pillar of the community and shit. This dummy out here sending 25 M's to people.
Yeah, pretty much. Bro. But another thing, like for the cybersecurity, that's like just personal protecting your data. There was a very big like data list that came out recently too. And I kind of just wanted to let everybody know you might need to start updating some of your passwords and everything because it was 16 billion data entries
I
across
beg your
these
pardon?
30, yeah, 16 billion across 30
With a
data
B.
sets. And what they have is it's from Apple, Facebook, and Gmail were amongst the companies that were exposed in this breach. So a lot of
That sound like
people,
everybody.
yeah, I was about to say a lot of people use these things, right? So I would suggest y'all to go ahead, update any passwords and everything like that. One last thing I want to talk about with people trying to get people not to get scammed. And the reason why I'm doing this, y'all, once again, y'all know I'm trying to get into cybersecurity. I've been reading about this. I've been seeing a lot of stories. So I feel like it's my duty to come tell y'all how to protect yourself, how to not get scammed. There's actually another scam that's going on. Women are receiving a red box with a ring in it, right? It's like it's gonna be like it's coming from Amazon or some shit like that. You're gonna receive this red box with a ring. It's gonna have like an identification card or some shit like that in the mail, and it's gonna tell you, hey, this is the mineral. This is a moissanite stone, like with silver or whatever. Scan this QR code to register your project or see something, whatever. You scan the QR code, and then that's whenever they got you. So one of my coworkers actually received that box in the mail a few weeks ago. Well, and one of the things I
Did they
immediately
scan
thought
the QR
about,
code?
no, she didn't scan it. One of the things I immediately thought about is, what if they pull that data from like one of these breaches? They just went ahead and went go get all of these different women's contact and phone numbers and everything and these addresses and just
And just
started
started
shipping.
randomly sending
Yeah.
them out.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, after you told me that thing about the QR code scams, guys,
You
no
talking about in the
longer,
parking lot, huh?
yeah, we ain't scanning no more random QR codes. I download the parking app for every city I'm in now.
Facts.
Because random QR codes, people will rebuild whole web pages to make it look like what it's supposed to look like. We ain't got time for it.
Yeah, whole
We ain't got
time
time to get
they done
scammed.
collected your card. Your car got told because you thought you paid for the shit, and your shit got hacked.
So you know how tight I be.
Hey
I don't
man,
even know. I
I
don't even know
remember
if
that
tight
night
would
I
be the
told you
word.
because you actually were gonna pick up a sticker. You was like, "What the fuck?" Because I remember they slapped a sticker over them QR codes.
Dog, messing me up. It's like, bro, you can't trust nothing these
Nothing.
days.
Nothing.
I ain't scanning no random QR codes. People out here vishing, fishing, swishing, and slashing and bashing. I ain't got time for none of it.
Yeah. Well, that was my little spiel on how to protect ourselves in this cyber.
Okay. That's what's up. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
So I actually, before we move into the next topic, I got a question for you, bro. This is a personal question. So,
Oh, man.
what's a bad money habit that you had, and how did you break it?
Bad money habit. I ain't gonna lie, I don't think I broke it yet, but I think I still kind of struggle with this sometimes, bro.
Was that
Sometimes I can be like an emotional eater person or whatever. If I'm having a bad day, you'd be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go get me a
I'm getting me
cookie.
ice cream?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get me a cookie type shit. So that's something that I still find myself struggling with, or like I'll be like, you know what, you don't need it. So that, but sometimes I'm gonna be honest with you, I'll just go ahead and I'll buy some food because maybe something happened at work or whatever. I'm just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm about to go eat.
I hear that.
Um,
It definitely happens.
yeah. So
Emotional
going
eating is a
and
thing.
that just sometimes I'll realize, oh shit, I went over the budget with eating out because of this or whatever. So not allowing that to affect my finances. What about you?
Man, for me, I say the worst habit I had, I was a victim to that store sales funnel, bro.
What?
At the end of the store, whenever you got to go through all the little aisle with all the little knickknacks and
Uh-uh.
bullshit, boy, ever since I was a child, I would always grab something. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I would always grab something.
I don't feel like that's a bad money habit.
I think it's
I
a
just
bad
feel like
money
you're a
habit.
sucker.
That's a bad money habit, bro. Because you out here spending extra money for bullshit. Like,
You's a sucker. What you be getting, man?
man, any new bullshit that they got right there, bro. I ain't never seen this before. Let me grab this. They got the USB-C charger. Let me grab
Here's
this.
this magnetic glasses clip.
I'll just buy shit in the line, just standing there looking at it like, oh man, I could get that. I'll get that. I say that was like one of the just most. I say it's a bad money habit because I was making unnecessary, unplanned purchases.
Okay, since what is the most ridiculous thing or the most expensive thing that you just purchased in a sales funnel?
Probably some seen on TV shit.
Boy, I thought you said something else.
Oh, you thought I got the 40, baby.
I thought that nigga said probably some ass. I was about to say, yo.
I got that little 40 for you. That's all I got. You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
But nah, like an as seen on TV product, like the Sham Wow or some shit. They had it in the thing. I'm like, nigga, that's a regular ass chamois. They call that bitch the Sham Wow. And I bought that shit for $15. Regular chamois is for. You know
God
what I'm
is that.
saying? Like little stuff
Oh,
like that,
man.
bro. Like it'll happen. It'll
That's
happen.
hilarious.
Well, I say I've really in recent years broken it. I think it's really stemmed from childhood. I will always ask for something at the register. Like, can I get a pack of gum? Let me get a candy bar. Oh, let me get this bag of chips. Y'all need some batteries at the house. Let me get some batteries for my game. Like,
Niggas just wanted to buy some shit.
real talk. Whatever I done already got what I came in here for, I'm at the register. I'm just grabbing stuff just to grab it. And similar to what you said, what I did to break it was really like reminding myself, bro, you do not need that shit. Like, you don't need it. Put it down. I be looking at it. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I still grab stuff. I still grab stuff to this day. But I put that bad boy down every time. I look at it, I flip it over, I look at it again,
I
and
might
I
can
put
do
that shit down.
that. I just might can do that.
$1.97, that's not bad. You know what I'm saying? I could afford $1.97, you know? And it's like really $2 ain't gonna make or break me, right?
It
But
won't.
I say it's a bad money habit just because you those $2 every time add up.
Man, you ain't got no other habits that you're like, man, I could probably be. I'm gonna tell you another one. Buying weed, nigga. Sometimes I don't need to be buying weed.
I feel that way every now and again, but then other times I don't feel that way. I'm gonna say it like that. I bought some today, and I said, you know what, this ain't too bad. This is a good deal. I might be able to do that.
This guy,
I feel you though, like, but no, really, realistically, everybody has vices. Everybody spends their money on certain things that you probably would look at it as like, have I stopped and be like, man, I ain't buying no weed. I'm done smoking. Yeah, I've done that. Then 2-3 months down the line, man, let me go get a sack. And then, it kind of started to cycle back again. I think everybody has a thing. Like some people are gamblers. I'm not a gambler. Thank God there's never been a money habit that I have. But
same.
everybody has their things where their money outflows. And identifying and breaking those habits is key. Mine, like I said, I wasn't just a grabber at the thing. I was grabbing and buying things at checkout every store I'm in. It's not like this is just like I went to the grocery store and I got caught in the checkout phone. I'm at the gas station, they're getting me. I'm at motherfucking fast food restaurants buying like the brownie that they keep right there. Like it's bad, bro. That's what I'm saying. It was bad, bro. Like I'm always getting something, bro.
This nigga's a serial funnel purchaser.
They would get me every time, bro. So I had to break that habit.
That's hilarious.
I said, dog, they killing me, dog. Every time I had to think. I think I had to realize, like, every time I come in here, I buy something at the register. Like, I done came because I'm on a mission when I'm in the store. You know what I'm saying? I walk in. I know what I came here for. Boom, boom, boom. I got it. I'm out of here.
Are you easy to upsell on shit? Like whenever you like buying stuff?
Depends on what it is. Like if I'm getting an oil change and you like, yeah, you want me to clean your air filter? Get the fuck out my face. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it myself, brother. I don't do none of them oil change upsells. But if it's a small upsell, it's not hard. But if it's like anything more than $30, yeah, I'm not going for it unless I really want it.
Hey y'all, salespeople, y'all take advantage of his ass.
You could try, brother. You gotta sell me on the value. If the value makes sense, I'll do it. But yeah, that's definitely one of them though that I had to get out of because I started looking like, bro, I'm spending too much bread. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I would say fishing, but I don't feel like, to me, it's worth it to me.
Hobby, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So I don't care.
I think it's a bad habit whenever it gets to the point where you don't have no return. Because, okay, arguing for gamblers, right? I think gambling a bad habit. Example, one of my coworkers, her mama friend, lifelong gambler. She hit 3 million. I can't say it's a bad habit no more. She's still gambling. She's still hitting. You know what I'm saying?
She hit 3 million?
She came up 3 million. And I still think it's a bad habit because it's all outflow. I wouldn't personally do it, but her habit has different results for her. So
That's
I
crazy.
can't argue. I can't argue with it because it generated a profit at the end of the day. But that's an exception, not a rule.
Well, I appreciate you for that little question, man.
No thing, man. So what you want to move into next, dog?
I'll let you tee it up, man. Which one you want to do? You want to do Senate or you want to do the family off?
Man, we could run through the Senate shit real quick. So back
what's
to
going on with the Senate, man?
Yeah, so back to politics, back to the congressional hill, bipartisan policy and all that good stuff. So recently, another big development on Capitol Hill is that the Senate passed a stablecoin bill. It is still under revision by the House and still needs to be going through final approvals. But why this is important is it just brings closer to fruition the opposite of what crypto was supposed to be. Crypto, when it started, was supposed to be this beacon
libertarian,
of decentralized, trustless economy where we didn't have to
not trustless, because it was built on trust, governmentless though.
No, trustless was the word because you don't have to know the person on the other side. The system is where the trust is put in. You don't have to do a handshake deal with nobody. you know the system works how it works. It's trust us. We don't know each other. We don't have any identifying information. It's just we know it's gonna work this way, right? Now this has been co-opted by governments, and what this Genius Act is what they're calling it is gonna do is introduce some regulations around stable coins, which is a start in the US for like, crypto regulation. So platforms like Coinbase, Gemini, they all adhere, KuCoin, all of them at this point, they have to adhere to KYC, AML, which is know your customer, anti-money laundering. These are the same laws that banks are beholden to, right? So they have to collect your tax information, all that stuff like that. With this, now they're adding an additional layer. They're going to be requiring stable coins to hold reserves. They're going to be requiring additional documentation and additional information from these companies that hold stablecoin. And what it's just gonna do is, to me, speed up the adoption of crypto, because anytime government starts regulating, I remember they cooked me years ago when I said this, the only way we ever gonna get crypto mass adopted is through government regulation, because people ain't gonna learn that shit on that. That's what it's looking like to me. This is just the beginning side of that. It's gonna change up the landscape because now Uncle Sam's involved. There's gonna be some regulating body. I don't know if it's gonna be the SEC, if it's gonna be FINRA, but there's gonna be somebody paying attention and making sure that this shit is not the wild, wild west like it was. And it's kind of bittersweet to me. Crypto was supposed to be, the wild, wild west, the free guns, man. Go get your money. Uncle Sam don't know about that bread. You can still do that. You can put your crypto in an offline wallet. They don't got to know how much Bitcoin you got. But it's getting increasingly difficult. And I think eventually it's just going to lead to regulated crypto. Crypto is going to be just like stocks and shit, just with regulation.
Yes, but I also do feel like just the community and the spirit around crypto is still a little different than what it is, because they passed the bill where they said meme coins and these stocks and everything, they're not securities. So people are still going to be creating these things. People are still going to be able to do all of these things on the crypto side. I do think it'll probably just create a safety net for some of the protection from other people as well, like the money laundering and some of the fraud and stuff that comes along with it. But I think that just comes along with any new technology. You have things where you're going to have the people that do good things and the people that do bad things. But I don't think the regulation is going to destroy what crypto is and what crypto does, because
Not
with crypto.
destroy it, just remove the original
But
purpose and
the thing
ethos.
that I still look at it is it's the network, right? The blockchains and everything. Like, this allows us to interact with people all across the globe. I don't have to go through a money exchange, right? Like, I can still just use my crypto to interact with people as long as I got whatever chain I'm using, whatever token I'm using. I can still use that to interact. I don't have to go to the dollar and then
Go
transfer
to,
over.
like you said, like
Yeah,
a
like a
money
yen or
transfer
something like that.
services or something
No,
like
all I
that.
got to do is onboard to crypto. I can either do this through Bitcoin, I can do it through Ethereum, I can do it through Solana, I can do it through all of these other different things, right? So I still think that crypto is still going to play an important role. It's a young asset class that I think is still going to be growing, and it is here to stay. And speaking of crypto, something else I kind of wanted to talk about on this section is Robinhood, man. So Robinhood recently tokenized stock.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
That's a crazy concept. So, did you want to get into it? I did get something pulled up about it.
Yeah, go. You can go for it, and I got a little thing pulled up too that I can talk about some of this stuff too.
Okay, so yeah, for with Robinhood and tokenizing stocks, it's pretty crazy. I did see a video, I believe it was of Robinhood CEO or founder, kind of breaking down the whole process of their tokenization, and I definitely want to probably link that in the show notes for people. But what's interesting is Robinhood is now offering tokenized stocks, shares of OpenAI and SpaceX to users in Europe, and that actually helped boost Robinhood's stock um, that was on the 30th, which was yesterday. Today they're actually down after hours like a 1%. But that's after a 13% increase the day prior, which is a reasonable pullback. A really small pullback for such.
Oh
We
man,
good.
nah.
We're good. Which is a reasonable pullback for such a big jump. You don't see that in the stock market often. A 12% jump, 13% jump in a day.
That is a big ass jump. Damn.
Yeah. So they gave out €5 worth of OpenAI and SpaceX tokens to every eligible user in the EU who onboards to trade stock tokens by July 7th. This marks the first time that private companies have been tokenized, and it's actually enabled some of these investors to invest in companies that they wouldn't have more restrictions to invest in. And right now in the US, we can't access it, but they've actually reintroduced crypto staking on their platform. And we've talked about staking before, where you can earn yield for just including your money in like liquidity pools and stuff
Oh,
like that.
that's cool. Sorry about that. One other thing that I did see that was pretty interesting is so the stocks they're initially going to be on this blockchain called I think it's Arbitrum. So they're initially going to be on that, but Robinhood is building a layer 2 protocol basically stacking on top of that blockchain, and that's where everything's going to be going through, and their goal is to actually build a 24/7 trading platform. Right now we know that stocks are limited to trading time during the day, 8 a.m. Eastern Coast time. Is it 8 a.m. or 9 a.m.? 8 a.m. East Coast? I think it's 8
Nine.
a.m. It's
No,
9
yeah,
a.m.
eight, yeah,
Yeah,
because
8
it's
a.m.
nine
East
central,
Coast. And then is it till 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock central.
The 24/7 trading. Yeah. So basically, they're trying to really become competitive, become a leader in the market, bring 24/7 trading, and using the blockchain to actually start trading stocks. And once again, I think this plays into kind of what we were talking about with just the mass adoption, bringing more people on board. It's going to take companies like Robinhood to do these type of things to make it very seamless, make it easy. Once again, one of the things that I think it's probably the biggest learning curve is just wallets and key phrases and people having to know like how to operate with different tokens and everything like that. So I think if a company can learn how to really just streamline it and make this very user friendly, that will help with the mass adoption as well.
Indeed, indeed. But it's crypto world, man. I just don't see it changing. I don't think again it's gonna be what we anticipated it to be, but it is going to be a huge part of the financial system moving forward. And any exposure to crypto is better than sitting on the sidelines and waiting. Whenever we talk about crypto, a lot of times when we say investing in it, we often speak, Bitcoin. It is like the S&P 500 of crypto. Yeah, exposure to Bitcoin is really like exposure to the entire market. I think every black person should own crypto. I've stood on that for years now. And if you aren't already exposed to it in some way or another, you should definitely get involved in the space because it is poised for continued growth. We're still early in the adoption phases of it. I say we're a little past early adopters, but we still haven't reached the point of mass adoption yet. And whenever we get there, the people who got in earlier will see the benefits of it.
We don't have to get in the family office
I'd
thing
say
on this
any other
episode. Yeah.
topics you want to get into, or we can wrap
No,
this up.
we can wrap this up. I did see a crazy story though. There's a dad that jumped off of a cruise ship to save his daughter. She fell overboard. He jumped in behind her, and then I think a Disney cruise ship was able to rescue them.
God, man, I thought that was
Yeah,
going to end much worse. I'm so
yeah.
glad that that happened. Because jumping off a cruise ship is insane. I'm scared of the ocean, so I would not do that.
I think I wouldn't have a second thought. I would have done it too for my
But you
kid.
got kids.
Yeah.
If that ain't my kid, I ain't jumping in that water. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't swim that good.
But yeah, I just wanted to say shout out to dad. I'm glad that that ended well. That they were able to be rescued.
Indeed, indeed. Shout
Yes,
out to
sir.
him. But as always, guys, we want to thank you for tapping into another installment of the Black Wealth Renaissance podcast. Y'all know what we need. Make sure y'all leave us that 5-star rating and review. It definitely helps us continue to grow the show. Uh, Jalen, anything you want to leave the people with before we slide out of here?
Let's just get that prayer, man.
Yes,
God, I just
sir.
ask that you guide me and you just use me. Heavenly Father, we say thank you. Thank you for waking us up, giving another day at life. We ask that you allow us just to live out our maximum and full potential. Give us clarity of mind. Thank you for giving us access to our limbs and our mind. We ask that you allow us to become blessed and fruitful mentally, spiritually, and financially. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen, amen, and amen. Like I always say, from his lips to God's ears, guys, until next time, we love you. Stay black, stay beautiful, stay wealthy. BWR signing out. Peace.
Peace.